Also tonight, the two black Democratic lawmakers who were expelled by Tennessee House Republicans earlier this year have won back their seats. Our viewers will remember this moment when thousands of protesters poured into the state capitol as the Republican-controlled legislature voted to expel state representatives Justin Jones and Justin Pearson for a demonstration calling for stricter gun laws. A third representative, Gloria Johnson, took part in the protest but was not expelled. She says she believes her race and age saved her. The so-called Tennessee Three were accused of breaking decorum rules for leading chants with bullhorn on the House floor. They say the Republicans have been cutting off their microphones whenever they tried to raise the issue of gun violence. All of this happened just days after a mass shooting at a private elementary school in Nashville, where a shooter killed 3 9-year-old students and 3 adults. Out front now, we have Tennessee State Rep Justin Jones joining us now. Representative Jones, it's been about 4 months since you were expelled. President Biden had you to the White House in a show of support shortly after, and now the voters in your district have spoken. How does it feel?
Yes, well, thank you so much, Brianna, for having me. Yesterday was a victory for democracy. Not only was the former president indicted for his attempts to overturn democracy, but my Republican colleagues, their effort to expel democracy was rejected by the voters of my district overwhelmingly with 75% of the vote. And so once again, we see that this multiracial, multi-generational coalition that we're building in Tennessee is a representation that the South is rising anew and that there's a new era of politics. I call it the find out era of politics that we're experiencing now.
I want to show our viewers a little more of the video of the initial protest that led to your expulsion. You were walking to the front of the House floor with the bullhorn. You led chants of no justice, no peace, and gun control now. And this was, of course, as we mentioned, just days after that horrific Covenant school shooting in Nashville. The question I have, though, is with this upcoming special session that's being called by the governor to address public safety, is it going to be different? I mean, should we be expecting to see a repeat of what we saw in the spring?
I think, overwhelmingly over 70% of Tennesseans support common sense gun laws. I won my election with over 75% of the vote. I'm going there with a mandate from one of the most diverse districts. I represent a part of Nashville, which was hit with this mass shooting. It's not the first mass shooting in Nashville, and unless we act, it will not be the last. But what I'm hopeful for is that the governor is calling a special session because he has a personal connection to the Covenant mass shooting where he lost a friend. And so now it's going to be on my Republican colleagues to put the lives of Tennessee children above the campaign contributions of the NRA and the Tennessee Farms Association. It's time for them to have courage and to protect our children, to protect our communities, and to fight for a future in which we don't have to live in this constant terror and anxiety of mass shootings.
Do you think things will be different? Do you think your mics will not be cut, that you will not be resorting to using a bullhorn because of that?
I can say on this interview right now, Brianna, that if they cut off our microphone, I will pull out my megaphone again because the people of my district deserve to have their voices heard, that this is a serious issue. We're facing a crisis of gun violence in this nation right now with more mass shootings than days. And so the speaker should know that his attempt to expel us for speaking up for our district will not happen unchallenged, but we're not going to be afraid. We're not going to bow down. I'm entering with a mandate from my district to stand up, to speak up, to lift up the voices with a clear message to say that we must protect kids and not guns. And so whether the speaker cuts off our microphone or not, our voices will be heard. Thousands of people took to the Capitol. It forced my colleagues to end session early. And we're going to show up again, and we're going to be bold, and we're going to be clear in our call for common sense gun laws that the majority of Tennesseans and majority of Americans support.
Yeah, and the nation, not just Tennessee, is going to be watching this. Representative Jones, congratulations, and thank you for being with us this evening.
Thank you so much, Brianna.